Good morning. It's Monday, and I'm Nancy Joy. And we're going to continue on from last week with reflections sort of on self-love. I ended kind of a quote from Ezekiel, where are you hiding from your own self-love, was the last sentence last week. And I got some responses both on YouTube and through my email on Reflections. Well, what does that mean? People wanted to know. And one person asked, well, how do you love yourself? I want to. Sometimes I think I do. But a lot of times I know I don't. And how do you? Hopefully, wouldn't it be nice if there was a manual? Here's how to love yourself. Well, all I can share with you is what I've learned on my journey, what I've learned through working with Ezekiel, the emotional field of humanity, what I've learned through working with clients, friends, family, people all in my life, and what I've learned most importantly on my own journey to love myself. One thing I can tell you right off the bat, it's ongoing. It's our life process. It's kind of fuel for us to grow on. This much I know. It's never, no one could give you a manual, these are the 5 steps to self-love, because there's probably a million, and we keep learning them and we keep coming upon them in our life. And we have plenty of opportunity to learn about self-love. So let's first start cosmically. Let's start out there. We were originally in creating in all oneness. We were sparks of God Creator, creating in oneness. We weren't male and female. We weren't human and alien. We weren't any of those dualities. We were pure, creative, co-creative consciousness of God's self. And at some point in time, stories vary. I like to believe that as individuated souls, we chose, a calling went out, and we chose to disconnect, to forget as souls exactly our connection to God's self within our own being. And we moved into other forms to have other experiences. Thus, in our journey to find our way back again, we're much expanded beyond where we left. And so we are disconnected in many ways. Originally, we were just unplugged from the oneness of all things. So can you imagine, choice or not, the journey it takes to plug yourself back in? First of all, cosmically, you're going to have to believe you are God Creator, that you're worthy of being plugged in, that there is an over-abiding consciousness, and you are a spark of it. It's like the old drop of water in the ocean. You take it out of the ocean and it's a drop of water, but you put it back in the ocean and you can't differentiate the drop of water. So we're on this journey cosmically. We were fractured when we split away, and then we were fractured into male and female to experience that form of co-creation, coming back together to create in oneness. So you have that cosmically, and that's quite a load, quite a journey. And then here we are living our lives and trying to understand what that means, self-love. First of all, self-love is not narcissistic. It doesn't mean it's all about you. It doesn't mean that the focus has to stay on you or you're not safe. Narcissism is a form of hiding from loving yourself, and thus the quote, where are you hiding from your own self-love? So we have been fractured, and we have mind patterns in place that diminish us. And this is how we've been controlled by kings, by pharaohs, by aliens, by ourselves, by our family, by our parents. Whatever your belief systems are, it's these mind patterns that have made us easy to control. We're not worthy of being God creators. We are not whole and complete unto ourselves. We are lacking. We are faulty. And you have been programmed. You've been programmed with that, first of all, from your parents inadvertently, only because they've been programmed that way, and their parents and their parents and so on. But inadvertently, you have been programmed to self-doubt, to blame yourself, to feel not good enough, to feel incompetent. mainly because you didn't live up to expectations of those who wish to control you, even if they're parents who love you. They do wish to control you, right? Because that's how you learn when you grow. So we have all these wounds and mind patterns in place. And our journey now, once we connect to the fact that there is a self in there that's very special, that's a God co-creator, and there are places in our lives where we don't love that self. All of us. I've never met a single being on this planet or heard about one that isn't on this journey. So where do you take it? Well, you start. You know, and I have a friend who's very, taught me a lot about AA and the 12 steps. And of course, in counseling people through addiction, I have learned also. But one of the 12 steps is making amends. Making amends with others, and then there's a part, making amends with yourself. How you've hurt yourself. And I think a good starting place was brought up the question, where are you hiding from your own self-love? Where do you put yourself down? You know, me, I can tell you, be really honest, I put myself down because I don't feel I'm quite getting there. You know, like, quote from my growing up, don't give it to Nancy, she'll mess it up. You know, wow. And yet, I know my parents loved me. I know they really thought highly of me, encouraged me in education, were very proud of my accomplishments, but that programming was in there. Our government takes away our right to feel competent and creative and powerful because we feel we must be taken care of. We've given power away. There's shame in there. And I briefly want to touch on shame, because shame is the emotion that God Creator gave us to let us know where we don't love ourselves. Wherever you feel shame, that's where you don't love yourself. And shame is where we store, it's the emotion where we store anything we've experienced or heard or felt that we can't compute, that doesn't make sense to what we know. We hide it. We hide it in a file cabinet and lock it away, and it's called shame. And every now and again that cabinet gets jiggled and it's very uncomfortable. And yet it's our job on earth to go open that file drawer and pull it out and look at the things we're ashamed of, because that's where we most need to love ourselves. First step. Take a look at those things. There's work to do here. And everything that's happening to you in your life is pushing you into that file drawer. So, it's a lot to think about this Monday morning, but hopefully some good clues and connections, and I hope for those of you that wrote in and asked me questions, I've answered those questions. Just briefly, we have the Malku Egypt trip coming up. There's a lot on my website and on his website about that, so I hope you'll give it a look. There's going to be To Love It All emotional clearing workshop with me and Ezekiel right here in Iowa, January 17th and 18th, and so maybe some of you will be guided to join us there. And there's a session special on. Once, if you purchase a session online only before January 1st, you get a session free to share with a friend. So there's really lots going on. And upcoming for 09, pretty soon we're going to get started on a Thursday night telecon where you can ask your questions to me and to Ezekiel, and we can all share, and that will be free. So lots of things to look forward to, and we'll see you again next Monday. Bye.